I just really love the cover. Like, that's the only reason. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna cry. Hey guys, it's Avery from A Very Avid Reader, and welcome back to my channel. So, I've got a little bit of a problem. I have another book haul for you today, and that's because I have an addiction and no self-control. Even though I have a full shelf of books I still need to read, an extensive TBR, I just have no control. And if there's a book that I see and it's at a good price and it's in good condition, I have to have it. I have to. It's an illness. So today I have 17 books to haul, which I know to some people isn't tons. Some people do hauls and it's like 50 books and that's crazy. But 17 is a lot to have accumulated in like a month. When was my last haul? I think my last haul was a month ago. So, I mean, that's quite a few books. But I can blame my mother for 5 of these books because a few of them she got me, and that's just her enabling me. So thanks, Mom. Actually, thank you for buying me books. I love you for that. So I've got quite a variety of books today to talk about, which I'm really excited about. I have some classics. I have some young adult. I have some just regular adult fiction. It's like a psychological thriller. I don't know if it's a thriller, but it's like murdery and stuff. Anyway, since I have 17 books, let's go ahead and get started because I'm sure this video is going to be on the longer side. So without further ado, let's get started with the haul. The first 3 books that I'm going to be talking about are 3 that I got from Costco. So if you know, Costco has a pretty extensive book selection, and it usually just has a bunch of paperbacks, and they're usually pretty cheap for paperbacks and for popular books. So the first one that I picked up is Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. And this book was super popular last year or maybe even 2019. And it's still really popular. But I saw that they had it for only 11 bucks, as you can see on the sticker, which I've yet to remove. It's normally 18 bucks. So it's just a little steal. And I've just heard great things about this book. Have been wanting to read it because I know that a lot of people loved it. So it's about this girl named Kaya Clark, who is known as the Marsh Girl, who has haunted Barclay Cove, a quiet town on the North Carolina coast. So in 1969, when this guy is found dead, everyone immediately expects this girl, Kaya. It says even though she has survived for years alone on the marsh that she calls home, the time comes where she wants to kind of come into the real world. And it says when 2 young men from town become intrigued by her wild beauty, Kaya opens herself to a new life until the unthinkable happens. So I don't know, sounds cool. I just wonder, how can someone who's lived in a marsh her whole life pull 2 young men? I mean, queen, a girl boss, but what's your secret? Because I regularly shower and haven't had as much luck. The second book that I got was The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides, I'm not sure how to say his last name, and I've actually already started this one because my mom listened to the audiobook of this and said it was so good, and so when I saw it at Costco for like 11 bucks, I was like, oh my gosh, yes. So I picked it up, and it's not really like books I usually read, so I was excited to kind of branch out into this new genre. So it says Alicia Berenson's life is seemingly perfect until one night when her husband Gabriel returns home late from work and Alicia shoots him 5 times in the face, then never speaks another word. Okay. So the book picks up 6 years after this incident occurs, and Alicia still has not spoken for 6 years. She's in this mental institution, and it follows criminal psychotherapist Theo Faber. He is captivated by her story and like wants to figure out what happened and try to help her heal and unravel the mystery of why she shot her husband 5 times in the face. Because from all accounts, he was a great husband and very much loved her and treated her well. So it's like, hey girl, why'd you do that? That's a little rude to shoot someone in the face 5 times, okay? Just a little. So I have already started it, like I said. I'm not super far in. I'm on like chapter 9 and the chapters are kind of short, but it is very interesting so far, and I am very interested to see like why did she do that? Okay, so the last book that I got from Costco is The Giver of Stars by Jojo Moyes, and this one was actually $10 and normally $17, like steals, you know what I mean? So this is the author of Me Before You, which I never read, but I did see the movie and cried a lot during the movie, and I don't think I ever watched it again because it was just sad. She's a pretty acclaimed author, and this book seemed very interesting and right up my alley. So it's about this woman named Alice Wright who marries a handsome American and hoping to escape her stifling life in England. But it says small town Kentucky quickly proves to be equally claustrophobic. So when a call goes out for a team of women to deliver books as part of Eleanor Roosevelt's new traveling library, Alice signs on enthusiastically. Okay, so that's fun, a traveling library, and I think this is historical fiction, but that's based off of a real thing, which is very interesting that I never heard about. And it says, soon she will be joined by 4 other singular women who become known as the Pack Horse Librarians of Kentucky. So not only are they a fun traveling library, but they travel around on horses, which is so fun. I love horses. So this book sounded right up my alley because I have always loved horses. I grew up riding horses, and I obviously love to read. So this just sounds really interesting. Oh, it says set in Depression era America and based on a true story. So I wonder like how much it's based on the true story, if it's just the whole traveling library was real or if this woman's actual story was real. So I don't know, I'm gonna have to look that up. So this just sounded super cute, super fun. Horses and books. Who wouldn't love that, you know? Okay, so the next book that I actually got from thriftbooks.com, which I have used them a few times. Most of the time they have really great service. They send the books really quickly. They get to you pretty quickly. Shipping is free on orders more than $10, and that's just great because you buy 2 books and then shipping is free. So it's super cheap, and it's just a great way to go thrifting for books without leaving your bedroom. And this isn't sponsored by them, but I love you, Thrift Books, so if you want to, hit me up. The first book that I got from Thrift Books is Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor. It has this plastic covering on the front, which I should probably take off. So this is the second book in the Strange the Dreamer series, which I just talked about in my last video. I love that series. So I have the first one, but I read the second book on my Kindle, so I really wanted a hard copy to go with mine because I love the series, so I wanted to own both of them. So this is my hard copy of Strange the Dreamer, so I just got the second book to go in the set. Also, I know that these are not like the super beautiful covers that everyone loves, and I do one day think I want to get the set of the books in those just really pretty covers. But I still really do like the way that these look, especially this one, the yellow and the blue. It's kind of, you know, reminiscent of Strange and how he is, but then this one is a little darker with the purple, and that's more Sarai. So I like this set. Plus, this is the original printing and how they came out. So this book is in super great condition because it used to be a library book, so I'm not sure how they got it, but it's in like perfect condition, and I got it for like $8. So that's just a really good deal, and one of the reasons that I love thrift books. The next book that I got from Thrift Books is Legendary by Stephanie Garber, and this is the second book in the Caraval series. So I read Caraval a few years ago, and I really loved it. And there's 3 books in the series, but I just never finished the series. I don't know why I do that. I think what happened was back in high school, I'd get these little bursts of energy where I'd want to read, but I really didn't read much in high school. And so I read Caraval, but then just didn't keep up to see when the second one came out and all that stuff. So first of all, look how pretty this book is. It's ridiculous. So I think this was around $13, and it's a nice hardback. It's in pretty good condition. I mean, these books are used, so they're not perfect, but you also know what kind of quality you're getting on the website. You can see whether it's like new, whether it's in really good condition, and sometimes they're just in good condition, so they're not amazing quality, but I do know that I'm gonna need to reread Caraval before I can go into this one so that I remember everything, because it's been a while. But like, seriously, can we talk about how pretty this book is? Like, I can't handle it. The next and last book that I got from Thrift Books is Letters to a Young Poet by Rainer Maria Rilke. So I talked about this in my May wrap-up video, and I loved this book. I gave it 5 stars. So I also read this one online, so I didn't have the hard copy of it. It's a really small book, and so I wanted to get a hard copy of it because I did like it so much, and I would like to go through and make some annotations in it. And this was really great because it was only like $4 because it is very small, and it was also in great condition, as you can tell. Love it. Love to see it. So if you want to hear me talk more about this book and more about why I loved it, then definitely check out my May wrap-up video. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about just the crowning jewel of this haul and of my life. And that is Jane Austen's entire collection of her 6 published novels. And you may be looking at these and you're like, oh, these are cute from the side, but nothing special, right? Look at the covers of these books. I'm gonna show you. They are so pretty, okay? This is Emma. Oh my gosh, beautiful. Pride and Prejudice. Mansfield Park. Sense and Sensibility. Just these super pretty pictures of like the period clothing. And then lastly, Persuasion and Northanger Abbey. And I really love the Northanger Abbey one. It's just beautiful. Beautiful! Another really cool thing about these editions is that they have pictures throughout them. Not tons of pictures, but they have some super cool like drawings and illustrations. Here's another one. So I just thought that was kind of another cool thing about these editions that I really liked. Okay, so do you want to hear the story behind this? Because it's been a wild ride. So I have a local used bookstore that I love to go into, and for the past few weeks, every time I've been going in, I would just go over to their classic section and check to see if they had any Austen books, because I wasn't really worried about buying a whole set. I just kind of wanted to read them individually. But there usually hasn't been much. I think it gets taken pretty quickly when something does come in, until one day I walked in and I saw these 5 books sitting there on the shelf, and I was like, you're kidding. And I pulled them out and I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm gonna cry. They're okay. They're fine. Oh my gosh. So I'm not gonna do that again. Okay, so back to the story. So I went in and I saw them and I was like, oh my gosh, can I really get this collection of her entire work for not that much money? Because each book was around $5 or $6. And I realized Pride and Prejudice is missing. So I was just distraught because here are these beautiful editions of these books and Pride and Prejudice is missing. So I asked the woman who worked there, I was like, do you guys have the Pride and Prejudice version of this? I didn't think they did because it wasn't on the shelf. And she said that somebody came in and bought it separately. And I was like, enraged. Let this be a lesson. If you ever go anywhere and someone is selling a full set of like an author's complete works like this, don't separate one book from her sisters. All 6 were sitting there beautifully and someone was like, I want that Pride and Prejudice. It's cute. Let me take it. So then someone can't go in and buy all of them. I don't know. It just doesn't seem right to separate the collection like that. I was dumbstruck. And the woman who worked there was like, people don't care. And I'm like, yeah, I know, I guess so. I just try to wonder if would I have done that if I just wanted to read Pride and Prejudice. I don't know. I don't think I would have. I really don't. So I was standing there looking at these 5 books and I was so conflicted. I was like, well, should I get them? Because what if I can't find Pride and Prejudice to go with them? Plus they are used, so they had some dirtiness on the spine that I thought was water damage at the time. So I was like, okay, they're not even in perfect condition, so is this worth it? But I talked to my mom and she was like, just get them. They're so pretty. And I was like, okay. So it was about $30 for those 5. So I came home and I did a ton of research trying to find the Pride and Prejudice. So I guess Book of the Month in 1996 released this special edition collection of the books. So they're pretty rare to find. They're not just chilling on the internet. But I was able to find a Pride and Prejudice that said it was a hardback on eBay for like $8. And I was like, whoa. So I ordered it from eBay and it comes, and alas, it was a paperback. It said it was a hardback, but they sent me a paperback. Like, whatever, I'm just gonna get a refund, get my money back. It's fine. Then I go to Thrift Books, and Thrift Books has the same thing. It has Pride and Prejudice, says that it's hardcover for $13. So I was like, okay, well, that makes more sense. That's a more understandable price. Let's try this one. Thrift Books, this is where you did me wrong. Normally I love you, but they sent me a hardcover Sense and Sensibility in the same style. I was like, that's not what I ordered or paid for. And I got my money back for that one as well. So now I have a paperback Pride and Prejudice and a hardcover Sense and Sensibility in the same style, because both places gave me refunds, but they also said I didn't need to return them. So I'm gonna do something with them, but I'll let you know in a future video. So I was just thinking, all is lost. You know, it's been so hard to find this book. Should I just give up? Should I just get rid of these, even though they're pretty nice, because they did have that damage on the spine, and try and sell them again or whatever, and then just buy a nice version of all of the books? And my mom was like, are you sure that that's water damage on the spine? And it looked like it, but then on further inspection I realized that it was not water damage, and it was just like dirt. I'm gonna show pictures of what the spines looked like and then what they looked like after I took a Q-tip and some water and just very delicately cleaned the spines. So as you can see, they went from looking kind of dirty to pretty poppin'. So I was like, okay, they're actually really nice condition now. Let me try and find this Pride and Prejudice. So alas, I found the book on Amazon, and it was certified under Amazon Prime. So I was like, okay, this has to be legit if it's through Amazon Prime, right? And it was. I ordered it, and it just came in the mail yesterday, and it's like her sister's, hardback, pretty good condition. So I was very excited to see this. But the thing is, this one cost me $20, which is not the best because it's not amazing condition, and the rest of them cost me $30 total. But I would say overall, I got all 6 of them for $50, and they are like pretty rare. Just, they're so pretty. They're so pretty. So I'm so happy that I was able to just work all of it out. So that was the very long story of how I came to have these very beautiful editions of all of Jane Austen's 6 novels. So the next 2 books are kind of on theme with that, and the first book is a book that I picked up at that same bookshop I was talking about, and it's called Jane Austen Ruined My Life by Beth Patillo, which I talked about in my reading vlog. So in short, it's about this woman who is married to this man and just kind of thinks her life is perfect, but she finds out that he is cheating on her, and she goes on this big quest across England to find the missing letters of Jane Austen. She, I think, ends up finding a new flame, and it's got excerpts from real letters from Jane Austen throughout it, and it just sounds interesting. And then the second book is The Jane Austen Book Club by Karen Joy Fowler. This book was pretty popular when it came out. I know it actually has a movie adaptation, which I have seen, but it was a long time ago, so I really don't remember anything that happened in it. But it's a story about 5 women and 1 man who join together to discuss Jane Austen's novels. So they do it over a course of 6 months. Each month they read a certain novel, and then it's about their lives and all of the drama, like marriages being tested, affairs, unsuitable arrangements, and love. And so it's about these 6 people reading the 6 novels over a course of 6 months, and then coming together and talking about them and all this fun stuff. So I thought this would be really fun to read after I finish reading all 6 novels. And this is one that my mom picked up for me, so thanks, Mom. And these last 3 are all 3 that my mom also picked up for me. So this one is called The Forgotten Seamstresses by Liz Trenow. And this is about a girl named Maria who is working in the sewing room of the royal household. It says, before World War I casts its shadow, she catches the eye of the Prince of Wales, and her life takes a far darker turn, and it's about her time working at Buckingham Palace. So it's just a fun historical fiction moment, and it just sounds like it's a cool love story. So it just sounds really interesting. The next book, don't come for me about this, is Eclipse by Stephanie Meyer. So I've decided I need to create my own collection of the Twilight books because growing up, I just read my mom's copies of them. I know people hate on Twilight, but I love Twilight so much. So fight me about it. I don't know. And my mom was at Goodwill just browsing around, and there's always copies of the Twilight books at Goodwill. And she said, oh, I found this version of a hardback Eclipse, and a hardback copy of any book at Goodwill is like 70 cents or something. So she's like, do you want me to get it for you so you can kind of start your own collection? And I was like, yes, queen. Really, if you have stuff to say about Twilight, catch me in the comments. I'm not afraid. And then the last thing she picked up from that same Goodwill is The Divine Comedy by Dante. So this is a fun classic that I haven't read before, but The Divine Comedy is very popular, especially Inferno. Dante's Inferno is what most people talk about. So this copy of the book has all 3 parts of The Divine Comedy in it. It's also got some fun little illustrations in it, which is kind of cool. And I just really love the cover. Like, that's the only reason. Who knows if I'm ever gonna read this? I might. Maybe one day I will get to it, but I mean, come on. It's so cool. And it was also like 70 cents at the Goodwill. So I was like, yes, please get that for me. It's so pretty. So let me know if you have read this or anything by Dante before, because I really don't know much about him or his work. So I'm excited to hear what other people think about it. Okay guys, so that is my book haul for today. So let me know if you have read any of these books and your opinions on them, because I would love to hear. Also leave a comment below telling me if you think it's wrong to part a book with the rest of its collection just because you want to read just one of them. Gosh, I'm so mad about it. Let me know if you think that's dumb too. Like, am I the only one? Am I? I was so heated about it. I was like, why? Why would anyone do this? It's just wrong. It's wrong. Also, let me know if you have picked up any good books recently or you've been enjoying any new books, because as you can tell, I obviously need to buy more to add to my TBR. So let me know. Thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and my incessant rambling, but if you did, make sure and give it a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed so far. Y'all are the GOATs. I love every single one of you. Thanks again for watching this video. I will see you in my next one.